Welcome back TBF fans. As always, it's your tips, tricks, techniques, strategies, and play this game and going beyond. You have to be a senior player, have some popcorn, have a cold beverage, leave some message down below to help the medium and small players if they need your help. And for those who just joined this channel, welcome as we talk about everything that's Total Battle. Now let's get straight to it. Now you guys are well aware right now we've got the Chinese mythology tournaments going on for the next several days, or been about a week-ish. So anyhow, what we've been dealing with this current monster beast of a beast during the weekend period happens to be the rage of the Demon King Niu Mo. Now basically, Ox King Demon is a mythology that you guys may not be or may not be completely aware. So let's deep dive in that first before we start off this tournament. Let's know a little bit more about him. So to start off guys, basically he's the Bull Demon King in Chinese mythology. He's also considered as the Ox King. Now basically what you may be aware, he is the estranged husband of the Princess Iron Fan and the father of the Red Boy. He is a demon king originally based in the palm leaf cave grottos of Zhonglao Zhidong up to Jade Cloud Mountain, or the Yuyang Shan, with his wife before betraying his wife for a younger demoness, Princess Jade Courtesan, a female Heo Zheng of the skyscraping cave, Ma Yongdong, or accumulated thunder mountain of the Jingshan. The Bull King is a major antagonist of the novel Journey of the West by Wu Shang. In its multiple adaptations, he can be considered the main antagonist in the remake of the Journey to the West. And despite his limited appearances, he also appears as the main antagonist in the 2014 film The Monkey King and Doraemon, The Records of Nobita, Parallel Visits to the West. And he is one of the most popular Journeys of the West villains, alongside his wife Princess Iron Fan, his son the Red Boy, and the six-eared Miracle and the Bai Zhou. That's a little bit of storyline for the Bull Demon King, what you guys may or may not be aware. Now I know some of you are not interested, but for those who are, that's a little bit of history of a creature that's not been created by Skull Warriors, but actually comes from Chinese mythology. So let's get straight into what it really is and what we've been doing going up against this epic monster. So how does this tournament work? Now let's take a look at it. Rage of the Demon King Niu Mo is basically fighting against the Demon Ox King. Now you're actually able to march in with all your captains and your heroes, so the whole lot of them. Now for this particular tournament, my advice for you, like I've said many before, are two ways you can approach this. One, you march in with your full army of your attackers. So this means that all your offensive captains, such as Cleo, you want to march in with your other powerful captains, right? So what are powerful captains, or what am I referring to by powerful captains here? So if you happen to be using an account that you're paying currency for and you're putting money down for it, then I actually highly recommend you to go with your seasonal heroes. You want to walk in with Hemdao, right? Because he's like seriously OP with strength of his entire army. And you want to go in with Skady because it provides strength for guardsmen at a high level compared to your other previous captains. Or you might want to walk in with Beowulf, which of course powers up your army just like Cleopatra, which goes 600 plus to your entire army and more as you power up the star levels, but must be earned within seasonal, okay? Now just a quick reminder guys, remember when you earn captains or artifacts from seasonal, you must earn those shards within seasonal only. Now I know for those who are new, this is for those, not for the older players, this is for the new players. Just remember guys, these stars can only be earned during seasonal and seasonal only. And don't be too alarmed, seasonal is going to be forever an ongoing thing. It's going to be, that is literally the money bag for Skull Warriors. We all know that well, okay? If you can, of course, you want to walk in with Hercules, especially if you can afford the package, but you know this is an arm and a leg to purchase him. But if you can, it really does make a big difference for you for success within epics. But with the new release lately of the new artifacts that's been introduced, this is one of my lower accounts, so don't mind me if I don't happen to have it in here. But yep, I do have it. This happens to be the Ghost Flame Lantern. It gives you strength of your entire army against the epic monsters. And technically speaking, this is the artifact that belongs to Hercules. You can't doubt that this artifact belongs to him. But if you don't have him, it doesn't matter. You can equip someone else, such as, per se, Beowulf or Cleopatra or your other attackers, to be able to arm yourself with the highest level chance of gaining the most valor possible through this particular artifact. Guys, I did say before, if you do not have the seasonal captains or Hercules, and you're going in with maybe an account that it's kind of like you kind of spend very little and you're not really spending that much or not spending at all but managed so far, then first of all, congratulations, you did well, because that's the whole idea of the game. I want you to save more money, save you one, because you know me, I hate spending, and if you're able to put as little as possible, then you play the game properly, even though it's a pay-to-win game. But again, guys, if you are interested in my other topics about that, how to save costs, how to save money, and how to play the game with a budget, then follow my channel at TBFALEX, because I have a bunch of videos here that kind of outline those things and what you need to do to kind of push yourself in the right place. In saying that too, since we're on the channel, I finally received my new profile picture. I'm absolutely loving it. Got it today, looks good, and it kind of matches me. Yeah, or anyway, that's what I believe anyhow. And we're also changing up all our thumbnails as well while we're at it. And eventually that will then dominate. You can see I'm actually starting to come into my thumbnails myself. And that's really more to help the algorithm follow in the way, even if there is such a thing as the algorithm. Bleh. Honestly, I don't believe in it. It's just another word for audience. The more you throw at people, hopefully someone catches on and watches it, right? But anyway, that's my opinion. You can leave a comment down below, but that's how I feel about it. On top of that, we are marching pretty well, about 815 subscribers from the weekend. So we're doing pretty good. We're in about almost 5 months in on YouTube. So that's pretty good for us. Thumbs up for us. So let's go back to the main criteria. So now in saying this, guys, if you are marching in with a different crew, maybe if you have lesser, then I actually think Ada is actually a good choice, because remember, guys, she's still very, very good with the guardsman's health and strength. And the likelihood of you using her at this point is still be very high because you're not spending, right? This is your account where you're spending very little. You may not actually even bother going to seasonal. You may not have that type of money to spare, and that's okay. A lot of us in that boat. So, don't feel that you're left out. I feel you. I know where you're coming from, and you can do that. So you want to go in with maybe heroes like Ada, Cleo, and even Alexander. But when you level up a bit more further, you might want to move in with captains like Wu Zutan, because her ability to upgrade flying units is a key role, especially for your griffins. So remember this, guys, in the structure of your guardsmen, and this is something, especially for those who are new, try to understand this. So yes, let's take a look back in our little castle here, building your units. One big thing you will know very clearly is that even labeling down of your guardsmen units, your eagles, your griffins stand at the top and pinnacle of strength, right? So if you look at strength, they're powerful against mountaineer fortification, but they're also one of your strongest units in the game. Griffins are your strongest. Now, yes, every unit has a weakness. Yes, I know that. But this is more towards understanding that you have to know what are your strongest units depending on what you're going up against. And that's usually always going to be your mounted and your griffins and then your mercs. It's usually always like that for majority of epic monsters that you go up against. And with this particular one, when you're marching through griffins, is going to be a key role for you. That therefore switching between Alexander the Great or going through Wu Zutan, a great idea, because you're upgrading your mounted and your griffins, right? So they will go in stronger. Now, in saying that too, guys, that will also impact your other great monsters when you do receive it. You'll also be upgrading your other flying units, such as your Royal Lions, but it means all flying units too, guys. So if you do find it confusing, it does refer to also your flying specialist humans as well. And they also have the ability to be advanced because of Wu Zutan. So make sure you keep an eye, it's all flying units, even your beasts, your monsters, your specialists, your guards, all of them, they all matter. But that's also very key. So if you are going on a budget, you want to use the party of 3, which I mentioned to you, which you want to march in instead with Cleo, Ada, and Alexander, or Wu Zutan, okay? That's if you're definitely going in as a budget. But then there's the third option. You can march in here with maybe not the goal to earn the trophy, if that's your goal. If you're not trying to aim for that, you're trying to upgrade your units, then go back to my original advice of building your units, because what advice I give you all the time when you fight against the giant bug, or if you go up and go against the Shadow Invasion tournament, or you go up against tournaments that involve more of all your captains and your hero, what do? You march in with probably you're pretty much your most heavy armored, heavy attacker that you have on your team, followed with 2 other captains, but more for resource gathering or for those who are at a lower tier, giving them the chance to grow up and gain the levels necessary to develop. So you have a choice of going in and develop your resource hero, your resource captain base, or you go in marching in where your full attackers gain the highest points. Now, if you happen to do well, now this account happened to did pretty well over the weekend period. I hope I managed to get this video out today. If I don't, then I do apologize, because there's a bit of delay. I don't do any, again, I repeat myself, I do not do any filming, I do not do any chats, I do not any of that during the weekend. The weekend is family time, it's personal time myself. Forgive me, because I need a life as well outside of the game. So I do that on a personal side, and guys, I'm always grateful to you guys, always. But if you do manage to do well, you earn a title called the Seal Guardian. And that actually gives you Lord of the Moonlight. Okay, well, these are new ones. I've definitely tried to earn it today. But I was in the lower category, so around 21, yeah, I was ranked 33 in the top 100. So I had a plus 10% for leadership. That was part of it. This is another tournament, though it is against the same Niu Mo, which is basically gives you a chance to earn more further upgrades. When I actually fought him over the weekend and they said that was only the 24-hour period, I actually really assumed that was going to be it. One tournament against him, done, rolls over to something brand new, fresh, and repeats with all the other tournaments. Not knowing that once the 24-hour period up, it started again. That's not normal per se, and I want to make sure you guys are well aware, and for those who've seen you guys are well aware of this, that doesn't tend to be the case. What happens a lot of times is that when it's the same tournament you're going up against, it repeats over days. So you think about it, guys. If you're medium or small players and you're playing the game, going up Ragnarok, or you're going up tournaments like Olympus, or you're going up Dark Omen, looking at these events alone, or even the ones where it's like Shadow Invasion, where they're 2 days or 7 days, they're for a long period of time. Niu Mo is an interesting one, and this actually, I have to argue, is the first time over the 4.5 years that I've been playing this game that I've seen this, where they put an introduction to a big boss, and he is a big boss, but it didn't really stay over 2 days. It's actually just kind of rolled over to a brand new 24 hours. But I'm thinking that's because the change of the rewards and gifts that are provided, because this is a new one, which is Lord of the Moonlight or Moonfire Champion position. That wasn't there originally. Because I received, like I said, the trophy I just earned just yesterday, and yesterday from this date would be the 22nd of February. And that was the position of the Seal Guardian title. And I just got that. So that clearly indicates a different title role. Maybe that's the reason why there was a shift or rollover, but it's just good things to take note. Let's go and take a look at this demon in particular, right? Now, like I always say, it's always good to have a deep analysis, but before we step into that again, let's go over here one more time to make it very clear to you guys. When you attack Niu Mo, basically you can go in with all your captains and your heroes. Now, unfortunately, you can't recover them with silver. It has to be through gold and potions, but you do manage to get a nifty title if doing well, and you can pull it off. But remember, guys, it depends on your division of where your group falls under. If you happen to be in a high division, it's not that it's impossible to get in there, but you will be spending more out of pocket, and you're trying to limit that amount, right, guys? That's our goal. We're trying to limit the amount that's being spent, because you don't need to put much money in this game as long as you do it properly. So for you guys to pull that off, remember the basic rule, guys. Always keep your your hero below a very low level, and make sure your captains are at a high level. The goal is always the same. If you're really title orientated, the goal is this. You want to make sure your captains are 3 times or 4 times larger than your hero. Remember, guys, 3 times or 4 times larger than your hero, because your hero's division, your hero does determine divisions in this game. It determines where you're at, in which tournament you're going to be in, and how you perform. And your performance, based on if your hero is too high of a level and your captains have to be the same level, unfortunately, it's not only going to take you a long time to get in the position of the top 100, but the likelihood of you sitting in there in the 24-hour period is about 0. Very, very low. And if you do pull it off, you're spending more money in your pocket than you necessarily did, meaning that you actually played the game wrong. I'm sorry to say that. As long as you remember your perspective of why you went into this game in the first place and what you're trying to achieve within your accounts that you have, you need to take note of how you're performing as a whole, okay? So you either going there with your money in mind and your wallet in mind, or you're going into the mindset of how you're going to play this out with your multiple accounts that you have. That is very, very important. I can't stress enough how important that is. So remember, guys, again, if you are title orientated, your hero must stay low. Your captains may be about 3 or 4 times stronger than your main hero. So to repeat how that looks like, if your hero is level 10, what does that mean? Your captains have to be level 30 or level 40. If your hero is level 20, then your captains will have to be, what is going to be? They're going to have to be, well, if your hero is level 10, then they have to be level 30 or 40. If it happens to be level 20, then it happens to be level 40, level 50. It just goes up. You just want to make sure you're 3 times or 4 times larger than the hero himself. Therefore, you're performing a lot better. That's the pure basics if you want to perform well, especially if you're title orientated. So let's go straight to the tournament himself, okay, guys. Before we get on that, you do earn nifty Emperor Scrolls, and those scrolls, again, guys, help you to achieve the Nazia Lantern Legacy, which allow you to knock out the free ones, which I highly recommend you do. And And if you are willing to put some money in, remember guys that these packages follow the gold pass rules. So basic gold pass is what, $30.99 AUD. Essentially you can convert that into your own currency. Blessed pass is the elite pass, which goes at $77.99. And the Dragon Warriors pack, which goes for $229.99, which I will never ever spend. I don't have the type of money to spend like that. I don't spend any money on this game. But use this idea to approach it. But if you do have the money to do it all, I actually recommend you that it is pretty nifty to get the skins, and I am all for it. So getting the Moon Festival Haven City appearance looks pretty epic. So if you go get that, that's pretty cool. Good on you guys, And if you're not, no big deal. Or if you're going after the framework, guys, it gives you a 2.5% bonus to army strength, and army strength is always handy to have. But you do need to step into getting your gold pass and elite pass in the version of playing the Chinese mythological tournaments, which in this case is the Fortune Pass and Blessed Pass, right guys? Let's get straight to it, all right? When we go fight against Niu Mo, and we take a look at him, remember one golden rule is that it's always good to pay attention to what it provides. Now, I think it's a great tournament if you're doing exceptionally well, but even when you do exceptionally well, you have to remember the class that you win. So with this account being the low division it is, I can earn about 28 clan chests, that's because of my clan current level. But if you go into a larger account, my main account can get about 78 clan chests if we perform well and manage to kill it. Your division, how well your clan is and where you sit at as clan members do determine the clan chest you get as a whole, what you can get from the epic if you manage to kill it. But then runs the other issue as well. You have to take note that it also really depends on your ability to kill it. So if all your clan members happen to be weak ass and below tier 7, unfortunately you don't have the strength or the power level to take it down even if you wanted to. In fact, the only way you can perform this is when you're tier 8, tier 9, and I've said this multiple times, that's where you can really perform the kill. From either 5 members or 5 members plus, or a whole clan going after it, this becomes even more obvious when you're in the older kingdoms. But if you are marching with tier 7, I actually think you need to treat it like fighting against the Tin Man, because if you don't, you're not actually going to be able to kill it, but you have to treat it like a Tin Man tournament, and you all of you have to go at it. Only probably at that rate when it's at 3 tiers. So and what I mean by 3 tiers, guys, if we go attack it, for instance, I mean literally 3 tier monsters left. And that's the only time you guys are going to be able to march in, and you're going to keep a very close eye, but it is extremely challenging. I've done it, I pulled it off probably twice in the 4.5 years I've done it, with smaller clans I've jumped into. And that was already hard enough to pull off. It was very, very difficult to do. So therefore, that's why there's this huge argument that you want those tier 8, tier 9, those high player ones so you can perform well. Taking a look at this, guys, I always find it important to look at the triage or the pretty much the followers of how people are walking into this tournament, because it gives you an idea of what you're going up against. Niu Mo looks great, by the way, and I like the artistry of it, and you know me, I'll do a lot more artwork soon enough, guys, for those who are watching that, so thank you very much for keeping an eye on that. Snowman is the first one, but there's still a lot more to go. Besides the point, it has strength against mounted units plus 45%, followed by the Hao Yao, which is plus 50% strength against flying units. Then we move on to looking into the Xiao Tao Niao, which I think I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but whatever, I did try there. So strength against melee units plus 80%. And for those who can correct me, please let me know pronunciation, because I am not Chinese. Okay, so moving over here as well is the Mai Mian, which is also plus 60% strength against the ranged units. Now, why do we do this? Why do we always pay attention to what the unit compositions are? Because it allows you to not be compromised when you structure your units. Now, guys, if you want to and you want to use this, I do recommend you to go back to my page. You can use one which I go under, which is called if you go under my videos and you find one which is told about a troop calculator, that's I also send the link in there. It talks about it. There's a free link. Just take a look at it. It won't cost you anything. And it will help you structure units properly to march against epic units, CP runs, the whole lot. That video will describe a lot of things, so take a look at that. Use the link below. It should be activated completely free. Take a use of it. But if you don't want to use that and you don't want to march in with those numbers, then you can take the lazy man style, and I am one of those lazy players. What I tend to do, which I refer to, and for those who have been following me, it's basically the 3 stack rule. And then the 3 stack rule that I have is basically always marching with your best 3 stacks. That's the idea. So what does that mean if you're trying to go into it? That's pretty simple. You go into your account, right? And you basically look at your guards that you're training, and you're going in with your best 3. So just say you've unlocked up to only 5 guards right now, okay, right? So your best 3 would be level 5, 4, and 3. So they're your best 3 of your guards. Your specialists, well, you only got tier 4, so what, 4, 3, 2. Don't come in with catapults, that's really just wasted points. Beast, elemental, giants, and things, you do want to go in with all of them. You want to even that out properly, and all your mercs. So that's basically the idea when you march in. And by doing so with your best 3, because that's always fighting at your best tier level, you're actually going to land more hits by doing so. And it's a very lazy way of approaching it. But remember the golden rule, guys, that your best 3 at your lowest number has to be at the highest amount of troops. And that's something that's very key and very important to play a role in, because that's how you march in a very lazy style way. And I do that, I do it a lot. And I've grown my accounts to higher beats because of that style. And yes, I've used a calculator too, but again, I can't be bothered going through it. Maybe another day I'll do it, but not right now. By doing so, that'll give you the highest chance of performing well against Niu Mo. Like I said, I already showed you guys, I already achieved the first trophy, first title against him during the weekend, which is over Sunday, which is the Seal Guardian. To let you show you my journals, I attacked it about 5 times in total with this account. Now it is in the lower end, guys, but even so, I still managed to get like 2.44 billion, and I only marched in with 3 captains. Why I'm showing you this, why it's important, and also I'll explain to you in just a second. I managed to land about, with what I have here, 113 hits, which is not bad considering that this is on the lower tier end and I still gained the title. Now the reason why I went in with only 3 captains is because I didn't want to go in there marching with my hero, because again guys, by marching with my hero, that actually dramatically changes the division of where my hero will end up being, therefore making the tournament even harder for me if I'm trying to earn titles. And this is kind of my title account. I have one. It was a lower level before that. I accidentally leveled them up because of the situation I was in. I think I was trying to rush to attack a particular epic at that time. But it's important to take note when doing so. Keep your hero at a low level. No matter what tournament it is, no matter what your captains or what your leaders say to you, keep your hero low and your captains high. And you will always, without a doubt, and I will even show to you guys that what you can do by doing so and achieving this, you can earn tons and tons of titles. This is my title account. I think I've got about, what, 230 titles now from this. I have 230 titles, and I've been playing very slowly with this account. I have no intentions of ever growing it, growing my hero up. It's just there to earn titles as they come by. And sometimes it's easier than other days depending where I am, because I jump around a lot of accounts, I jump around to a lot of clans, but I've got a lot more stories to talk about with that and more strategies and tips, but that's for another day. But remember guys, this is the best way to approach it if you're a title gainer. This happens to be my title gainer account that went up against Niu Mo. Right, so that's how I approached it. Unfortunately, my larger accounts could not achieve it because the amount of gold I had to spend to be able to live up to get those points would be impossible to achieve. And I'm not one to do that because, like I said, man, I'm jumping around from place to place, from kingdom to kingdom, promoting the channel, bringing it out there, and then you guys and new players are aware of what we can bring for TBF. Now, hopefully that's been helpful for you. Go in there, do your best, share your experience down below. If you want to call out, reach out to me. I'd love to go on a Zoom call or something else we can do together. Leave a like, subscribe, put a comment down below, and I'll see you guys again in the next TBF episode. Bye now.